Okay. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the stream. I had to wait until after 12 to start so I could say that properly. How's everyone doing today? This midday for me. Hi, Paul and Nuno and DJ Natty and Gustavo and Mr. Clown. Hey, Steve and Colin and Chris, and Ben and Dark Neutrino and PF Dennis. Hey, Martin the Engineer, Nutty, Angie, Marcus and Bam Panic, Jaeger, Brian and Jorgen. Hey, Clee. Glad you can make it. How is everyone doing? Hey, Ollie and Brian and Ancient Monroe, Starkastic and Linus. Everybody say hi to Charlie. Hey, Derek, Ivan, X Smith, hello. Yes, I'm very pleased to be able to do a reasonable time frame for most areas today. I had something else going on, so it was just convenient to go ahead and just take the whole day off. So, busy day, no wind down with your stream, going to be a good evening. Awesome. Hi, Rick. Hi, Lee. There we go. Hi, Kaylee. Okay. So, just to recap, this is my build series. Hey, Squirrel Brain. This is my build series for the LDO Trident kit. It's a beta version of their kit. They've sent this out to a few of the devs for assembly and feedback. And one of the cool things, I think, is that they are allowing this to happen live. So you see what I see. I've gone through a few things ahead of time, but I haven't corrected anything ahead of time. Whatever we're correcting, you're gonna see here. It's the purpose is to give feedback so they can improve their kit. They've sent this to me. This particular kit, I'm probably not gonna end up keeping. It is a 300 size and I'm running out of space. So hopefully the plan is to get this shipped to Murph. So hopefully it'll be done in time and be able to be shipped. Let's move you over here. Shipped to Murph. So don't forget the coffee today. It's too late for coffee now. Afternoon, there's no coffee. Coffee ends. Coffee ends after the morning. Now we're on to Diet Dr. Pepper. Hey, Linus. Hey, Mehmet. Kenneth. Hi, Gary. Viking Cat and Ludwig. 3DP Mamshi. Good evening from Copenhagen, Christian. I applied some Squeak Be Gone and my Trident is silent again. Also getting better probe results. Awesome. That's good to hear. Hi, Si Senor. Rock is live. Will it be on sale at Murph? It will be at the LDO booth. I imagine it'll be at the LDO booth. Hi, Brant and Thomas. Be careful with cat hair around the printer. It just makes things stronger. It's just fiber reinforcement. Hey, a tiny shell script and Tony. Oh, but there is a lot of it. It's getting warm out, so he's shedding a little more. Francois, watching with just one eye. European League final just started. I'll take one eye over none eyes. No eyes. Hey, Bob. What else do I have going on? I mean, there's not a lot of time in between streams here trying to get this done. So the reason I'm doing daily streams or weekday streams for those that might not have heard is the purpose of me building this kit is to provide feedback. And under normal circumstances, if I was only doing Sunday streams, that this would be a 7 or 8 week build. And I was not giving any time limit, but I don't want to take that long to build it. So Did you see Clicking Next Generation? It's amazing. I have not. ITCSS photo. Stands for cat fur reinforced nylon. Yes. Except for this is cat fur reinforced everything. Getting massive buffering. YouTube says I'm okay. So try your restart and let me know. Hey, Golden Jaguar, welcome. Zombie Hedgehog. Oh, he likes that. So we're gonna make some progress during the week. We're probably gonna be on here for about 3 hours today. I think we'll make quite a bit. I actually feel like I'm a little ahead of where I thought I would be in this build. So it's going well. Hi, Lewis. Grant's Auto Essentials. ABS is not an idler. That's true. ABS does not make a good idler. Neither. Yeah. Okay, good. He's settling down. So let's get moving. Hey, John Paul. Hi, Q. We left off around here in the manual. We did the gantry, we deracked it, we made sure the belt path was good. Lewis, what ABS did you use for this build? The build is Sparta 3D out of Canada. This is their Sparkle Fluorescent Blue and the Obsidian Black as an accent. This build is going fast. Helped to design the printer. I did help to design the printer. John Paul, thanks for becoming a member. I love the printed 80-tooth gear on my Ender 3 belt mod. I made my own little 80-tooth Ender belt mod. It didn't hold up the gantry though, but I did use the printed 80-tooth on it. Yes, the used filament I did put in the description because that's probably the most common question that comes up after the fact. Okay, let's get moving. We are not going to actually install the print bed because I subscribe to the same thing that Nero does. The print bed's heavy, and there's still a lot of moving around of this printer, so I helps. I didn't catch that. Oh, Rock is Life. Who are you on the? Oh, it helps. Got it. Yes, it does help. But we're trying to go through the sequence in the manual for the most part, except for what we're going to skip right here. Hey, Printer Prawn. Okay, so this is just going over the bed in the manual and how it's together, and we'll pull that out when I go to install it. That's one area where the build may end up is well, it's two things. It's probably not final right now, the parts that I have, and it does deviate slightly from the build, and I'll show you that when we get it out. Why does the manual have you install the bed at this point then? I don't know. The Dunnar makes the manual. He thinks this is a good sequence, and it probably is. I don't know how it would break otherwise. We'll think about that. I don't know if there's a benefit to installing at this point. And I don't know if we've just necessarily given that strong feedback back either. So that's a good question. Every stream, what filament is that? What's the parts tray? What's the screwdriver? I'll try to remember to use it. Hi, Nadir. So yes, this Viking Cat says this is a beta kit. Things are subject to change. Will likely change based on a number of factors, including the feedback that I provide from this stream. I think at this point in the build, there's not anything. So we're also building this with the Trident R1 parts, and I've brought that up before. It is a minor update. There are no parts like purchase parts changes. It's just getting the offset front idlers, a little change to the bed mounts, and all the holes are the cross bridge style instead of the countersink style. That's pretty much it. someone else who makes the manual, that person deserves a high five. Yes, Dinar deserves a very high five. Is the ES15 broken? It is not. My brain and remembering to use it is broken, usually, but it works just fine. Hi, Knights. Hi, Camille. Let's see. Let's get through. So the LDO kits always have or at least they have always had the silicone heater pre-applied to the build plate. The magnet you have to apply yourself. But all this has been, well, you'll see it. It's all pre-applied and pre-wired, terminated. Okay, so let's just go to this point. We're going to use the special LDO piece for the Z-endstop, because that is something that they deviate from the regular build. So let me find all the bits and pieces for this. Hi, DeFinch. Yeah, alternative screwdriver, that costs $0. This thing is really neat. I think it's very well made. It's a pretty solid thing. It's got a little bit of heft to it, which is good. It feels good. If I remember to use it, and I have a point where I'm using it a lot, it probably saves some time and energy. But I've turned a wrench my my whole life. What made you use cross bridge style? There's a couple of reasons. I learned of that, and I don't know where the actual origin is, from examining Prusa Mark III parts. That's the printer that I had early on. I think it's probably a little better in some areas where you're going to put any level of torque on the screw, because with the well, let's say here, the countersink style. So you have a hole here. How can I do this? If you countersink it, you're tightening up against an angled surface, and you have less plastic there. It's more likely to deform and get loose over time or whatever. The cross bridge style runs flat bridges across, so you have a much larger area for that head of the screw to tighten against. I can get a little bit of you can see the cross bridge there in that hole. You got a bridge going that way, and then across, and then the hole, the hole starts getting formed on there. Does that make any sense at all? Hey, Mr. K. Hey, PJ. Okay, we need parts. We need this part. And we need, so the end stop pin, which they notch for you, and a 20-tooth pulley that they deflange for you, and a grub screw, and a circuit board. So there are some custom circuit boards that come in the kits. Let's just empty them all out here. There's a whole selection of them this time, a couple extra from what come in the 2.4 kit. These are definitely, some of these are definitely in progress, yet to be finalized. But the one we need is this one for the end stop. And we'll grab the pod here too, the end stop pod, and put that on. Or be ready to put it on. So they're not going with the Sex Bolt end stop from Heart K. That's a little more complicated. This is, I would agree with them using the Heart K version of the PCB board end stop. They chose to deviate from that with this, but I think the sex bolt adds that extra little bit of complication to the build. So I don't necessarily agree with putting it. I agree with them not going that direction. Hey, Xerox. Hi, Elizabeth. So if you notice, this Z-endstop PCB doesn't have any mounting holes. The intent is the printed part has a channel. This goes in here, and then you can reach 2 M2 self-tapping screws to hold the switch to the part. It's fine. It works. No real complaints with it. Yes, with kits, we want to keep things as simple as possible. Okay, I'm not gonna put this in yet. I wanna press this. I wanna press the 22 in. Now there is no, I do this. So I take note of where the grub screws are, and I orient it to where one of the grub screw is pointing straight out from the part instead of to the inside. So if I ever need to get a wrench in there to adjust this little grub screw that's gonna hold the pin in, I can get to it easily. So I have one coming straight out from the part and one going to the back. I'm just gonna use, because I have it, I'm gonna use this to press it in. I'm also gonna clean up, a little bit of elephant's foot on this with my handy dandy deburring tools. I'm just gonna clean that up a little bit and make it a little easier to start that. Start that in there. These mounting holes on the LDO end stop has confused a lot of people. Yeah, it's really important that folks recognize that there are unique instructions. There's a site out there. So docs.ldomotors.com is going to cover some of these. Let's go there. It's going to cover some of these. Now, it might not yet on the Trident one. There is a wiring guide, and let's see. I think there is a, yeah. Our Z-endstop is slightly different from the official endstop. Use our printed part. Now, they probably need a little note on how it assembles. I don't know if they have it in the V2 one, but that might be a little bit of a feedback for them. I only have a straight shaft for my Z-endstop that falls out when I flip over my printer. Yep. Does the group think it's more worth my time to do this sex bolt mod or just grind a flat on my current shaft? If it's working fine, grinding a flat is free and you can do it without any disassembly or reconfiguring. Yeah, it doesn't take very long. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in here. In that direction, I have a little bench vise, so I am going to use it to press it in. Whoa, that is not going in straight. Oh, and I dropped it. Okay, let's try this again. No matter how you do this, you need to make sure it goes in straight. There we go. I think that's good. There we go. For the longest time with that end stop pin, I would just take it out intentionally before flipping the printer. Hi, Killer Prince. NH3D Canada, hello. Sanity, hello. Yes, I could have used my parallel jaw pliers. I've got the big ones too. Not quite. I'd be a little bit afraid of deforming the plastic there. Art K, thanks for becoming a member. Okay, so on their version, PCB goes in here, and then I got a little booger of plastic in here that I'm gonna clean out, and then a couple of M2s hold it together. There we go. Yep, now it sets right in there. So, on these M2s, I use a quality, definitely sure to use a quality driver, and they don't need to be torqued down too much. Just to tight. That's it. And that holds it. That works. I'm just still wondering why they did something different instead of using like hearts that uses the 4 bolts from below. It's fine. Not something to say they need to do different. So the notch in this is offset. So we just want to make sure it goes in so that it lines up with the grub screw. Yeah, hard. I'm really pleased with how this is turning out. I like the color scheme. It'd be really amazing once we get all the skirts on and get a few more of the accents, the black accents in place. Killer Prince, you're building a Trident as well? You're second. That's awesome. We need more Trident serial numbers. Okay, so I screw it into touch and then back like a full half a turn because it doesn't, all it has to be is in there enough to where the pin doesn't come out. Has to move freely. You can wiggle. Just want to make sure it doesn't give any friction on there. I noticed that David Randolph has space gray frames in stock. Ooh. I ran out of metric nuts and screws for my VZ-bot build. Uh-oh. Okay, so we're gonna set that aside. Set that back there. Working on it, Steve Builds. We'll pick up when LDO releases the kit. So we're looking at probably very late summer, just supply issues, and they've got a very specific supply issue that's causing some delays. Our Trident close to be done. Last panels arrive tomorrow. Now on to the Tridex. Yes, that's on the list too. Okay, where are we at next? Oh, the color of the frame. Yeah, and this has like a sandblasted, slightly textured surface to it. It's not a matte, like the Masumi frames and stuff. They've got just a sandblasted finish, and it's really nice. This one, so something that Jason did ask me to mention, and he's mentioned it before, is the anodizing process can produce some variation in color. It's really tough to get it exact. This frame, as far as I can tell, is all consistent. Anything you see that looks weird, I would blame on this frame on lighting, but in the way the camera's picking it up. Late summer is fine with me, a patient person. I'm usually patient. Another live caught. Hey, David English. Is LDO including sex bolt in the kit? No, they are not. They're including a little custom PCB, a traditional style Z-endstop. That's done. And then we have, so let's look at what they did for this, because yeah, we can do that. No, we won't. We'll save that. There's a Wago mount for the bed. Trident R1 has a Wago mount for the bed. It's different from what LDO is using, but we did move to a Wago mount for the bed mains wiring and the electronics mains wiring on the R1. We included those mounts in there. I'm tempted to buy and build a V0 now, but I want to wait for the V0.2. Hope that's not that different in the hardware that I will need. I'm not exactly sure what might be, the details of what might be different in V0.2. But I will say, before this build series is over, the intent is to give away a V0.1 kit. So stick around. Not today, but one of the future streams. But before the build series is over, we'll be giving away a V0.1. And another thing I didn't bring up, we gave away a stepper kit on Sunday. And I have additional giveaways for the Sunday streams. And I only want to give for this build series, I only want to give away on the Sunday streams because that's my normal stream times. And I want the majority of my audience, my community, to have an opportunity at those. So. Where was I? Let's go on to the bed frame. I'll grab the Wagos when we're ready to actually put it on this piece. So let's get this out of the way. And I think I'm about to sneeze, so if I suddenly go mute, I might be able to stave it off. Okay. I did not clean up in between streams because things were pretty much where I left them, and we've got such a short time in between. So that might bite me a little bit in searching for things, but just wanted to say thank you for your streams and efforts to help the community. It's appreciated. Awesome. You guys make this fun. So I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't having fun. So one way or another, we make mentions of things that might be coming up at the discretion of the person who's developing it. So I'm talking about the V0 stuff. Sometimes these terms just become like, we know that the next version, whenever it happens, of V0 is going to be V0.2. So we start talking about that. Nemgria has talked about a mini stealth burner coming out. The rest of that, I have no idea what or when. Might have a little bit of an idea, but you got a preview of mini stealth burner on Nero's stream. So I'm gonna guesstimate the center here and then see how close I am. Quit building so many cool printers, I'm running out of room. I'm running out of room, and I've got a dedicated spot for them. I've made it a dedicated spot for them. How's sound? Is my sound good? Is the music good level? Forgot to ask that earlier. I don't think I acknowledged this. Starktastic, $5, thank you. Thoughts on non-standard build sizes, thinking 250 by 210 by 250 in order to use Prusa build plates. I would highly recommend simply doing a 250 by 250 by 250 build and just don't use that extra Y. That's what I've done on my 250 builds. That gives you a couple of things. I mean, everything else, you just know that when things come out, any mod you want to do or whatever is going to work. The other is it might give you a little bit of extra space at the rear of the printer if you ever need it. So I would recommend you're not gonna save much because at your particular example, you're gonna have to get a custom or cut down your rails. You're gonna have to do a lot of custom stuff to make that happen. And that difference, you're not gonna save anything. If anything else, you might even cost more to do that. Steve, what main color and frame color should I go with on my next 2.4 build? I want to use Sparta 3D Sparkle Purple Mist as the accent color. Well, I mean, the space gray is the hot thing right now. But that would look really good with even just a black frame. That would look good. Orange? Green? Purple goes with a lot of stuff. 175 millimeters. Let's see how close I was. This will be more because it's a I'm at 201.15, so I'm quite off. I should be at 200. Oops, wrong screwdriver. Let's see. Oh yeah, I can see I was off. I did that very much by feel. Try that. Well, LDO make a 250 Trident kit also. That's the plan. That's what Jason has said is the plan. Is for Trident, it will be 300 and 250, and 2.4 is the 300 and 350. To start. That doesn't mean they won't come out with other sizes later, but this is still kind of early for both kits. Yeah. We are at 200.4. Attempt to get really close. Elizabeth Neiman, thank you for becoming a member. $200.07. I'm gonna go for it. I don't think I can really improve on that. Yeah. One more little adjustment. Ah, crap. I should have kept it at 0.07. Holy moly, 199.99. Keep it. Nice, and I might have to build a Trident when it comes out. I really like their V0.1 kit. Yeah, I think in general, LDO has done a very good job. They've taken their time. They haven't tried to be the first out there. They've done a good job with the kits, and I don't have any complaints about the ones I have. Miguel, thanks for becoming a member. Can you just set the calipers to the size you want to use that? Yeah, but trying to hold everything right here, it was easier for me to just make small adjustments and see where it's at. And plus, it's hard to tell if you're butted up here and touching here. I might as well just push things to the limits and see what the measurement is. Okay. Bed extrusions. The manual is very 250 build focused. In many areas, it calls out the difference in the in the measurements for the different build sizes. This is probably an area I might want to make a comment that this might want to be called out as a 250 measurement here. Hey, Torx Fighter. And that's one reason that we're going through this, and I'm paying so much attention to the manual during this build, is to just in case anything like that comes up. So I'll have to remember to make that little comment. Okay, now we have a bunch of T-nuts to put in, and the magnified area, those are important because the space at the back of the bed frame here is tight. So the orientation of the T-nuts there is important. Hi, Philip. Is that 175 number correct for a 250? Yes, because we did 200 here for a 300 build. These M3s here are for the bed mounts, and then the M5s are for the joints. Okay. And now we're going to look at the manual here, but we're going to deviate a slight bit for the LDO kit. So this is one of those areas I was talking about is probably going to change between what I have here and the final kit. I know there's been some chatter with LDO on what the best way to do this is. Right now, this is the orientation of this part. The front of the printer going to the back. Z-endstop goes here. My builds, I put my mains wiring over here in a Wago connector and run it through to the back. The LDO kit has the mount on this side, and I think that lines up with where the bed heater is set up on their bed. So I'm gonna go through all this, but note that it's probably, at least pay attention to whether it changes or not for the final kit. It's up in the air right now. So we're gonna grab a couple of M3s, I think a couple of M5. So the M5s are for the Wago mount. Go in along here. I know exactly where. Yeah, I'll go this way. It's up in the air. Is that a moving bed joke? No, but it can be. Unintentional. So these M5s are for the new mount for R1 for the 3 times the 2 conductor Wago mounts. I don't recommend, some people use additional Wagos here and they try to include the ground and thermistor and whatever wiring in the Wagos. I don't do that. I don't like that idea. I don't like to mix DC and AC wiring, so I use the Wagos only for the AC, only for the main stuff, only to chain the thermistor, the heated the silicone heater, and then the wires coming up from the SSR. The LDO kit only uses 2. I'll get the part here. This is the printed part, and it uses 2 Wagos because they do the thermistor, the thermal fuse. The thermal fuse connections are crimped at the heater, so you only need 2 here. I'm curious, is there any reason folks have shifted more to Wagos over the MLX connectors that were mentioned in the sourcing guide at one time? They might still be there. Wagos are really easy to use. No crimping involved. They're easy to use. You buy the genuine ones. They're safe. Yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to actually bolt that on, but that's what those are for. Pre-nut. Print for the scrubber. Oh, so we'll have to look at, I think one of the reasons they tried to put the Wagos over here is because they wanted a mount for a brush scrubber off the other side. I think it's okay to come off the front, in front of the Z-endstop, and put the nozzle brush on the right side instead of the left. And that might, and like I said, this is up in the air on the kit. It's likely to change. Okay. Now we can assemble the bed frame stuff. So these came with, I was surprised to see, NSK bearings. It's a good brand. Pull these out. I use Wagos for everything, leaving the electronics area, and DIN connectors for all the rest. Yeah, just as a minimum, separating that stuff into the type of wiring, I think, is a good thing for the majority of builders. If you know what you're doing, you have a ball. Oh. Hard to find the flange bearings and good brands. The idler stack bearings, these, NSK is a good brand here for these spherical bearings. Focus, there we go. They look nice. Wagos are popular enough that you can get them at any local hardware store, which is one advantage, I guess. If I were going to disconnect often, I'd go MLX for sure. Yeah, you shouldn't be disconnecting this stuff often. Oh, looking for like real quality Japanese bearings for the idlers you can't find? I haven't even tried to look for something like that. Wagos are cheap too. I think it's like $10 or $12 for this. I buy this kit on Amazon and it comes with a whole variety of them. They're really inexpensive. You get a ton of the 2 conductor ones. I use the 5 conductor ones for in the electronics bay, and then the 2 conductor ones for the bed. Now the LDO kit does not use the Wagos for in the electronics bay. They have a terminal block and their own stuff, their own pre-cut harness stuff. Okay, we have those. Selection of parts we're gonna need. So for Trident R1, these parts are the only bed parts that changed, and they were made 3 millimeters taller here, which tucks the bed frame down further and gains 3 millimeters of Z travel. So these parts got thicker. So this, if you want an extra 3 millimeters on your existing Trident, you print these 3 parts and install them and you should get it. Assuming the rest of the build is spec and it fits the way I expect it to. So these should just press into, just slide into there, into the spherical bearing slide in there, and then they get held in with 3 button head screws, and just the edge of the head of the screw keeps this from being able to fall out. Now these won't fall out in normal operation just because of gravity, but when you move things around, you need those screws in there just to hold the bearing in place. I need a bunch of these. There's a new butt connector Wago, which isn't in the US yet. I think I've seen pictures of that. I think someone posted it. I'm actually using a loose Wago to connect my thermal fuse at the moment since it was out of heat rated butt crimps. I buy the 221 style in bulk. Awesome for everything. I swapped out those during the Monday stream. Pretty easy. Oh, awesome. Good. How are they working for you? Did you get an extra 3 millimeters, Agent Monroe? For my the printer I developed Trident on, I was able to get a full 250 millimeters of Z travel. I think the orange one I was short just slightly, and all of that matters. Depends on the thickness of your bed, thickness of the bed mounts, all that stuff adds up. So this just makes sure that more build variations can get that full 250 millimeters, 250 plus millimeters of travel. These M3x6 button heads just thread in until they stop. They don't get torqued. So just till stopping, they just thread into plastic. They don't need to do anything more than that. Can put more filament rolls in the bottom now. Steve, how's the ERCF going, or is that on pause? That's on pause, completely on pause. I don't want to make any progress on that off stream. Any progress I make will be just researching the macros and making sure I have some familiarity with them before we cover them on stream. But everything I do is going to be on stream for that. And so it's on pause until this is done. But it's the next project. I need to make it the next project to cover before I can move on to other things, because I don't want it to hang out there uncompleted. I'm in the middle of printing parts for my Trident. Where can I find the STLs for the R1, or when will it be released if it isn't? If you go out to the Trident GitHub site and look at the pull request tab, you will see the, here, do we still have it up? Trident Voron GitHub. You go here. You go to the pull requests, and you'll see Voron Trident R1 updates by me. If you go here, this will give you a list. I'm gonna copy and paste this into chat. This will give you a list of the overview of changes. If you want those files now, it's easy to just click on this link here, because this is Steve Peterson wants to merge 22 commits into Voron Design from my repo. So if you click there, it'll take you to my repo, and these are all the updated parts. So if you go into the Z assembly, you'll see the Z bed left, rear, and right. Those are the 3 parts. See, most of these didn't change. If you look here, you'll see these files that changed 9 months ago. That was release. So the things that that changed for R1, you'll be able to tell by the revision date. Okay, back to this. I'm still mid-work on the Trident. I also swapped that left Z motor mount and then haven't had a chance to put it all back together yet. Yeah. Can't wait to see how you tackle the filament tip tuning. That is where I'm struggling. I'm sure I'm gonna struggle there too, but we'll see what we can do. Any plan to flip the electronics in a future revision? No plans right now. I can see the benefit to that, but the decision was made to not do it, to keep it in line. I really want it to be in line with Voron 2. So any completely, honestly, unplanned future revisions that change the location of that would, that's when that would probably happen. Not a Trident question, but for the 2.4 R4, R2 gantry upgrade, you have to reprint the XY end stop bracket holder. You do not have to reprint the XY end stop bracket holder. There's a new version to accommodate these PCB boards along with the discrete switches. You could use the same printed part to mount this board or to mount individual switches to it. That was the change. But the existing ones, if you have, will work just fine. See you, Nadir. Thanks for being here. Any indication of the price for the LDO Trident? I think Jason has hinted at it. It'll be close to a 2.4 price, but it's not finalized. I don't know what it's going to be. That's just, I'm just regurgitating what he hinted. It's so easy to do the inverted mod anyway. Yes, I mean, the mod community is wonderful. So anything, I highly recommend building spec. You will end up with a well-working printer that you can get easy support on if you run into trouble. If you're a new builder, please build spec, because when you go into the help channels and all these awesome volunteers who are working those help tickets, it is way easier for them to help if you're in a spec build. That doesn't mean that they can't help with the others. They do it all the time. But for a new builder, I recommend building spec. Yeah. Okay, those are done. And those are gonna bolt to this with some M5x10s. Yep, just going through all these. And then we can bolt that into the printer. Okay. Let's break out the... I like you guys were mentioning that I get the questions every stream on colors of the printer. Where does the hex tray come from? But what that tells me is I have new viewers. I have new people tuning in, so that's good. I have no problems with re-answering those questions. So these should bolt on and everything should line up with these flush to the end of the extrusion. So that's where we are going to put them as I line up the T-nuts under there. How about a Voron gimbal for easy printer flipping? That would take up a lot of space, but it sounds fun. Like a Voron rotisserie. Will LDO be doing a 250 version? Yes, that is the plan. For Trident, the plan is 250 and 300 to start. Just like with 2.4, it was 300 and 350 to start. I just got my GE5C. You think it's good compared to IGUS ones? I'm using both. I have a printer with each. I don't notice any difference between them in any way, shape, or form. They're both working just fine. It's like the XYCD Lucky 10,000 comment. What's the Lucky 10,000? I'm sure I've seen it, but it doesn't ring a bell written like that. Not always new people. Some of us are oldies with very short memories. It's okay, I'm right there with you. It's half the time why I repeat myself. I don't remember if I said it before. You can be an angry old guru and just say, watch my old streams, damn it. Good. After the 300 one, yeah. LDO T-nuts can be hard to find in stock and nothing else post inserts. You just have to find the right ones. I've got random ones I've bought from Amazon, who knows when, from who knows vendor that work fine, but it's becoming more of an issue. I think it's going to be slowly become easier to find decent ones. It's XYCD 1053. It's the one about how there are, on average, 10,000 people who don't know a given thing. And rather than make fun of them, you can get excited that you can share something with them. Absolutely. That is so true. This color of the frame is stunning. This will make a big difference. Oh, yeah. Smash that like button. We're only about 50 likes down from the current viewers. That's not bad. Nope. Okay, then we're going to use those M5x16s and the M5 nuts that we didn't put in last time. Here's the M5 nuts. Let's get my X-Acto knife out of the way. Oh, just see. Oh, I'm in the way. There's Charlie. And my absolute mess. Hi, Charlie. Like button has been smashed. Thank you. That actually helps. Charlie really, he does. He's taken to sitting on that more than, he's taken to the printers more lately than before. He's getting that positive reinforcement when he's up here and gets petted. So, Par, thank you for becoming a member. Oh, I like that icon. The little cat in the box. That's exactly it. Okay, this is, let's move this down. Oh, there he is. I'm gonna move these down to about level. Good thing Vorons are enclosed normally. Yeah. Try to get an angle here that you guys can see. And then this just goes in here. We should be able to set it basically in place. It should line up. 3 cubic Charlie build volume. What are you doing, cat? He's off that way. Okay, I'm going to just drop these in here and see how things line up. Those lined up good. So everything, yeah, everything lined right up with things there. I might look at this one. The rear one is going to be the more, might need some adjustment sliding back and forth. Here's the, there. Let's see if we can He's got himself in a predicament. He doesn't know where he wants to go. Oh no, you don't need to do that. Hold on, I gotta stop this. You're gonna destroy my screen. Ah. Love the editing on Mr. Who's the Boss? They put a cutout of his head over Milo's brown. What are we talking about? I don't know what we're talking about. So Vorons are now high-tech cat traps. Yeah. So much easier than putting in the V1.8 bed. Yeah, one thing that is I'm really pleased with Trident is how easy it is to pull this whole assembly out. I have swapped bits and pieces, especially this mount, in testing that camera path. Swapping things just takes minutes. The whole bed assembly, disconnecting wires and then 3 bolts, and it's out. I think that's pretty handy. There he goes. He's gonna go find some water or food. So this is why I saved those nuts for now. The instructions, maybe that's another comment. The instructions for the M5 nuts here could probably be saved for this step, because the fitment on the part isn't guaranteed to be enough for a friction fit, holding those M5 nuts on these joints in place. And these don't have to be super tight, just snug. And then that's all good, and it's relatively level right now, so we're all lined up. And then the bed goes in. We're not going to put the bed in yet. We're going to blow the cat hair out of it, though. But we can put this on, at least in place. And the Wago mount, I'm going to save. We've got all this stuff. Now we're going to move on to the tool head. So we keep track of this, the Z-endstop. We're going to mount it now. What do they use for this? I thought it was M3 by 25, which we found out I'm missing in this kit. Yeah, it's an M3 by 25, which is missing, and I've already put that in the comments that we need some. So let me grab them out of my stash. Yep, right there. I'm pretty sure it's an M3 by 20 for a spec build for the Z-endstop. Move this back here towards the back, and then we'll move it forward when we get the bed in. There we go. We got up over 100 likes. Awesome. Okay. Afterburner. So I mentioned this before. The initial build of this will be with Afterburner. Stealth burner is not released, but given that this kit won't be out until for several months, I'd be surprised if it wasn't released by then. But as it is, we're gonna install the Afterburner first, and then do an upgrade to Stealth Burner in a follow-up stream. Papa Foxtrotter, those lead screws Teflon coated. Sorry, catching up on streams. No problem. Yes, for this kit, they have been provided as Teflon coated. I don't know what the final kit will come with. I haven't been told if they'll be Teflon coated in the kit. I got a little bit of bridging booger here. Just gonna clean up while I can feel it. And then this is a part that I forgot to print, so I printed it later, so I'm gonna clean up the surface. Just this flat file across the mating surface. Just make sure we're good on these. I think I already did. Yeah, I already did these. Yep. MD Roberts, thanks for becoming a member. Steve, wouldn't the Sexbolt Z-endstop adhere better to the hole, only off-the-shelf parts thing? Otherwise, you need to cut a slot in the rod, which is a bit of a hack job. They're both, I would consider both off the shelf. And in this case, it then becomes ease of assembly and complication. I don't know, but I prefer lead screw bed driving kinematic instead of belts. This is my perspective. What do you think? I like both. There wouldn't be a reason for Trident if we didn't use a different method of doing the Z motion. I mean, that's the whole point of Trident. It continues because there's a valid and useful alternate kinematic setup. So the advantage there is in ease of assembly and simplicity of parts and ease of maintenance. So I wouldn't say, I don't know which would be better than the other. They both work really well. The ease of assembly and theoretically lower cost is the draw for Trident. And then you can get into things like the more rigid gantry and that kind of thing, whether there's an advantage there or not, depending on what your use case is and how fast you're printing and all that fun stuff. Okay, all these parts for Afterburner and a stepper somewhere around here. Wherever I put the stepper box. Where did I put the stepper box? Oh, it's right here. Everything's right here. I didn't get rid of it. I just stacked stuff on top of it. We have nifty little labels for all the stepper wires. I'll set those over there. And then the regular 17 or 20 millimeter, whatever it is, pancake stepper. Don't step on the stepper box. Well, now I can. It's empty. And I probably will to crush it down to put it in the recycle. Okay, these are the AB stepper wires, all pre-crimped. Remember, they have a microfit 3 on the other side. Here's one here. The whole, I've already done heat sets on almost all of these parts. I did miss one thing that I can think of right now. Heat sets. We are using the optional Toolhead PCB part here. So it has a heat set in the side. All the heat sets. The Toolhead, we have a Dragon. The heat set I missed is on the shuttle. So let me grab the heat sets here and are we good? Yep. Let's do that. Oh, I missed. Over 100 likes, time to eat some gummies? Okay. I won't argue. LDO shipped with the Dragon Hotend. So the kits, just like the Voron 2, the kits don't ship with a Hotend at all because there was a community poll and folks preferred to choose their own. For this, the supplied to me, everything was included, so I would have something to build, right? So the Dragon was just the easy one to include. So that is done. I guess we'll do the okay. We'll do the tool head first. Where is the... There it is. Flip. Yep, there we go. So a blue. Well, that's nice. We got a blue Dragon to go with our blue printed parts. Hey, Jared. Do I need any of this? Yeah, I'll need some of that. Good if LDO go with configurator option for Hotends. Yeah, I don't know what their... I mean, they would have to decide if that was a good idea or not. It's probably pretty complicated. Your individual resellers is probably where that kind of thing would come up. So most of the Dragons come with the groove mount pre-attached. It is, I think it's just a 1.5 millimeter driver. It is at an angle. The, is there a ball end wrench? Do they come with a ball end wrench? I usually just very carefully grab this because they're not usually very tight. I just put a lot of pressure and just a very slow turn to get that going, and then it's out without damaging the anything. If it comes with a ball end wrench, I would use that. But I'm comfortable with this too. Hey, 007 FPV. So that comes off, and we never use these again. Afterburner seems a bit old school, even though Stealth Burner isn't out yet. Yeah, we are very spoiled with Stealth Burner and very anxiously awaiting its release. Did this come with a little ball end? No, I don't see it. But it does come with the screws we need to mount it to the tool head. We need the M2.5 by 8s, I think. And you got to be careful when you spill these out because there's some really small spare screws. If I was going to keep this printer, I'd probably take the opportunity to put one of my Revos on it. But since I'm not keeping it, I don't want to give up one of those. Okay, we don't need anything else in here. Steve, what do you think of the Moskval heater block? I have no idea. That's the Dragon Mosquito Volcano all merged into one block. I think our high flow hot end options are pretty pretty, or expanding in things that don't need special formats. Like the longer heat blocks are really tough finding compatible cooling ducts and stuff for. So does a Moskval outperform like a Rapido high flow or something? I don't know anything about it, so. Still trying to find out what to do with my drag and groove mounts. They don't actually disassemble like this one did. They're one piece. Isn't that why the tool holder is swappable? Yes, but you have to have someone who can do a model for a new cooling ducts for those alternate form factors well, and everything we have right now is, well, Stealth Burner is fixed right now, so. I thought the Revo was already released. Yes. Yes, we have Revo. I have one. I just don't want to put it in this printer because I'm not going to keep this printer. I don't want to lose my Revo. So we're just going to go straight to this. Little piece of PTFE. Are you planning to do a full 300mm height test print on this Trident? That's probably a good idea if I have time before I have to send it on. Okay, little piece of PTFE in here. I'm gonna grab my handy dandy. And this is just a simple printed part that I use to make sure that I'm trimming the end of the PTFE tube flush. This is one of the things that's on my Voron users GitHub. So it just clamps on here, and then I take an X-Acto knife and very carefully trim it, and that makes sure that that's nice and square. And then does anybody tell me exactly how long a Dragon PTFE tube needs to be? Does anybody have the Voron 2, or probably Voron 2 would be the most current CAD up, because it's listed in there. Don't lose the extra Dragon parts as you will give the printer away. The receipt will appreciate. Yes. So all of that, I don't know if this, so let me clarify. I don't know that this printer is getting given away. It's going back to LDO. Unless for some reason I asked Jason that I want to keep it, but I haven't. I don't think I'm going to, just because it's a 300 build. It's a big printer and I don't have room for it. So it's going back to LDO. It's going back to Jason and LDO. And what happens with it from there, I don't know. But it's a good point. I'll make sure all the bits and pieces, this box goes with it, that kind of stuff. Volco Mosk was meant to be a cheaper alternate to the Magnum Plus. I have one and it works great, made very well if you get the original version from Nitram. The China version, I've heard lots of issues. Okay. If you're not going high flow, then I'd go with the Revo. The Revo currently does not support high flow. Currently. I think it's 25 millimeters, 25.9 millimeters in the CAD. Okay. Don't give back the gummies. The gummies didn't come with this. I supplied the gummies. Speaking of. Gummies did not come with this. I decided I wanted gummies. So we're gonna go 25.9, 26. Not CBD gummies. Albanese, that brand. And this just has a little screw in here as a clamp. just to make sure it doesn't shift as you're cutting it. And then at this cut, I bought I think it's a 60-degree, just little chamfer tool. I just got this off Amazon, and I run a little chamfer in the end while it's still in the jig, because it's easy to hold on to and makes a nice clean chamfer. You're not allowed to stop streaming until the calipers show exactly 25.9. Well, I went 26. I think it'll be fine. So this little cutting guide is just a super simple model I did way before Voron. I was using this before, but I did put it out on, here, we'll go there. Put it out on the Voron. Oh, I want to go one more. So I'm just going back to the Voron Design GitHub. Out to the Voron Design GitHub, go to the Voron Users repo under Printer Mods, and then down here to my name. Then there's a Parts, Jigs, and Mods. I think I have it into Tools and Jigs. This is where that is. There we go. Let me check something real quick. Let's see what we ended up with. Let's pull this out of here. We ended up at 25.91. Does that make you happy, Mr. Clown? So we have two ends of this now. We have the chamfered end, and then one that I didn't chamfer. The one that you don't chamfer goes towards the hot end. So let's put this, we need some wires because we want to put the wires on here. Got to file it down 0.01, but then I'm going to introduce PTFE dust into here, and I don't want to cause a clog. Let's see. Somewhere in here we have Hotend stuff. We've got wires. We've got oh, there they are. They're in this bag. So I've got a heater cartridge and thermistor already pre-terminated. There also happens to be some stealth burner LEDs already in here. Okay, so this is going to go with the fat side. So center line of the hot end goes right through there. That's filament path, right? There's the heater cartridge side of the heater block. That needs to go forward on the tool head. If you rotate it and make it go towards the back, you're going to be too close to your probe and you're going to melt it. So with that in mind, and the orientation of this set, I'm going to put my the heater cartridge in here, and I'm not going to fully tighten it. I'm just going to put it in place so I can adjust it here in a minute without it falling out. And the thermistor And then we're gonna set this thing in here and gonna figure out how I wanna bend these things. So I'm gonna take my pliers here and strain relief the heater and bend that over at a 90. That'll set in here a little better, and then they can go around that way, so you see that. Fix these in, but not tight. PTFE is becoming persona non grata in California and some other states due to legislation. I've had a number of products that had Teflon that could not be shipped to California. That's interesting. Is there is there an alternative? So that's gonna go there. And then this piece is gonna go here. And we gotta get the M3 by 16s. There. California prop warnings on everything. That's true. Some of it's a good idea. Some of it, I don't know. That's why you don't live in Cali. Sorry, Steve. I like living in Cali. Most of it doesn't really affect me. Well, I mean, it does, but it doesn't bother me, I guess I should say. Okay, so all of this, I'm just kind of putting this stuff together loosely. Flat side in. That'll push in. Now on a Dragon, you can usually push this in and you feel it go past the little spot to sink into the Dragon mount itself, into the Dragon Hotend. And I felt that. So it's all the way seated. So I can use this for clickbait on future videos. Illegal 3D printing build. I might go to jail for building this. Okay, now I'm gonna tighten these and then finish tightening the hot end in there. Now, all of this comes around and I need some zip ties. Where did they put these zip ties? I was using zip ties on this, right? Have I put any zip ties on it? No, I haven't. I gotta figure out where they put them. Got a couple of fans I'm gonna need. That's a 50-15. How long is a PTFE tube did you use on the Dragon? It was 25.9 millimeters. The end goal is you want the PTFE tube to stick 10 millimeters out from this flat surface. And it's hard to eyeball here. It might be slightly over. We need hot warning sticker, pinch point warning sticker, electrical shock warning stickers, all the warning stickers. You talking about the printer for Charlie? What? Bill Brothers. Oh, yes. Charlie, yeah, if you remember, Charlie found out how hot a build plate can be on the Switchwire build. On one of the Switchwire hangout and build streams. Okay. Zip ties in here. And capturing these. sure all of this is nice and tight into there without pulling on things. And I am so not sad to see this little setup go with Stealth Burner. Stealth Burner having that little wire cover is, yes, so much nicer. Oh, and I just broke that zip tie. Soon we'll leave a bird on the build plate along with some butter. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. Okay, that's on there. Let's put the sock back on. Everything should be good. Oh, I'll thread in the nozzle. I'm gonna might as well use these for something. Give this a little torque. That's one of the nice uses for those pliers. Oh, and tighten the thermistor, I mean the heater cartridge, and the thermistor was fine. There we go. Good thing this is not a product. It would require a warning to not put your head in the build area while printing, and do not use in bath shower warning. I can't use it in the bath or shower? Okay. Yep, that's that 10mm thing right there called out. And that would go on there. I'm not going to put it on yet. We're going to put the Clockwork together. So this and this bin. So I've got BMG parts and the cool little LDO tensioner, custom tensioner. BMG gear, bearings, that's for another part. So this is where we're going to start. There's a little grub screw in here you don't want to lose. There's already one in the part, so this is an extra. I'm gonna put this in here. The one that's already in the part, I believe probably doesn't have thread locker pre-applied, but I have some. I should still have some that came with the kit that have it pre-applied. Where did that little baggie go? Where did that little baggie go? Do you guys know where it went? You're not truly a 3D printer user unless you have a printer in the shower. How do you think we know a TPU is hygroscopic? Do do I have? Looking for grub screws. I thought, oh, there they are. Got a little baggie, and I have several of the little 2mm grub screws. Hey, Ari. You're a little late, but we got a good while to go, so you're probably only about halfway late. I'm only grabbing one of these because they have thread locker pre-applied. And I might as well. There is a grub screw on that driver because I just took it out of there. So let's grab the pre-applied thread locker one and use it instead. And then we have a printed jig. And this goes on here like that. So the intent is this cutout here fits around the stepper. That goes like that. And this lines up with that. I'll put that on like that. And that should be the correct spacing, at least should be. That's not critical, to a certain extent. FDAV pack, thanks for being here. Had a good excuse on Mallorca for a short, where's Mallorca? And I can't be saying that right. Try to not eat any of the grub screws. I value my teeth. I spend a lot of, I never, well, in the last 20 years or so, I have had very few, almost no cavities. So, even though I eat gummy worms. I will not be eating any grub screws. Don't drop them in the spot where the gummies are, that's true. Make sure all your grub screws are accounted for before snacking during a build. Yes. We learn from others' mistakes. This is going to go in here. Okay, so this is the orientation of the afterburner, right? The front is right here. Okay. Your cable chain goes off in this direction, then wraps around and goes over here. I like putting the wires that come out of here off this side and then bring them around. And I usually tie them to the wire back here at the cable chain, but that keeps less stuff over here to deal with. So I make the wire point out to the left, is another way of saying all of that. Then we're gonna start with a 3x8 there. Finally went ahead and bought a full Revo Voron kit for an Ender 3, nothing like overkill. I like the Revo stuff, and like I said, I've said many times before, I don't use a lot of Revos right now because I really value having a hardened nozzle on the printer. But as soon as the Obsidian is available, it will go on many, many more of my printers. And as that ecosystem evolves with high flow versions and other nozzle materials or whatever, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. If nothing else, if not even for the quick nozzle, the quick change, for it being a one piece, near no possibility of leaking and no hot tightening, all of that is enough value for me. You're not gonna let Nero go on that one? Nero's never going to live that one down. That was just cringeworthy. I mean, that is, especially having nerds, it was so easy for a grub screw to get lost in there. I'm just glad he didn't actually hurt himself. Have you any opinion on the Mellow Crazy Hotend? It's the mosquito clone. I don't have an opinion on it. I haven't used it. I've used I have still an official slice mosquito, but I haven't used any of the clones. Ooh, a heat set insert would not be fun to chew. In the middle of rebuilding my Ender 3 Pro to switch wire conversion and went with the Dragon High Flow. Where are we at? That screw is in, and we'll put all this stuff in. So we got a couple of bearings. So there's a bearing that's going to go in here, and a bearing that's going to drop in there after we work on this part. Where are we at? That is the one with the grub screws. So we're going to say that one there, this one over here, and then we're going to get one of the another LDO grub screw with the Loctite on it. Have you any? Oh, okay. BZBot Discord is a good place to ask that. A couple of people are using those with good results. Okay. Grub screw into the BMG gear, and this goes paying attention to the flat spot on the shaft here. It looks like it goes butted up against the gear. It's been a while since I've assembled an afterburner. I think I saw a picture of some Obsidian Revo nozzles today. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but I've kind of got to the point where I say Obsidian, kind of a Z sound, and where Obsidian with an S would be the rock. So Obsidian seems to be the way I'm settling on pronouncing that. I was trying to say like Ubexian, something like that. Obsidian seems about right. I've never actually, I don't know that I've heard or paid that much attention to someone else saying it. If you look for footage from the event going on in Detroit right now, the Rapid TCT, they're E3D's there, and they've got pictures. They've got them out. I'm looking at this. This felt a little weird when I was tightening it down. I think I might have. Yeah, I'm gonna pull this out while I can. I think I stripped the grub screw. It feels a little loose. I'm gonna swap it out. I've got extras. In fact, I can't even get it off the wrench here. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna throw this in the trash so it doesn't get mixed in with my gummies. And there are a few extras here, so I'm grabbing another one. That just felt weird when I was tightening it down and I was noticing it. And I'm gonna give it another go. There we go. That one felt better. Okay. And wearing your favorite tee? Yes. I mean, you designed this, right? Was that you? The real challenge is saying Thomas Sandlanderer? Sandlatterer? Sandlatterer. Thomas Sandlatterer uses an Obsidian nozzle. I'm not gonna go 2 more times. For the stealth burner switching from the CW1 to CW2, will I need new belts? I trimmed very close. Probably not. Probably not. If you look back at, and I'll show you when the printer comes, when I bring the printer back up here. It's pretty forgiving if you've got any amount of belt that you can grab onto, you'll be fine. Okay, I'm gonna get back to this. There we go. That over there. That goes in there. That goes right here. Oh, I gotta loosen this and make sure I've got room here. There we are. And so the mesh of the brass pinion gear to the drive shaft gear, the spur gear here, is important. So let me get a couple of screws in here so I can more accurately place that. I think it's a 30. Okay, so I'm gonna tighten this top one. And then that has no play whatsoever, so our mesh is too tight. So let's shift this. I should be able to get in here with a ball wrench and shift these a little bit. And I'm looking for just the tiniest bit of play, and right there is where I think I'm gonna end up. Yeah, right there. And you can't really, just the tiniest little bit of play there is what I'm looking for. CJ Alcorda, thank you for becoming a member. Is there a non-printed parts difference between Clockwork 1 and Clockwork 2? Yes, the stepper. The stepper is the Pancake NEMA 17 on Clockwork 1. It's the round NEMA 14 on Clockwork 2. Okay, so that and another 3x30. And put the guidler together. I'm gonna grab a little bit of grease. Now that's another thing that these kits don't come with anymore, is any kind of grease. This I think came with my original V0.1 kit from LDO. This is before they stopped shipping anything. It's just a little, I don't even know what it is, a little white lithium grease thing. Get a paper towel. I'm just going to put a little bit in this one. And then usually just put that there, and then the other one, and then the shaft there will push it through both, and then I can just kind of spread it around the whole thing. And you don't need a ton. That puts just a little bit in without a ton of mess. The 20 millimeter thick little NEMA 14, yes, is the preferred one versus the 17 millimeter thick one. That goes in there, and that should move, spin freely. Yes, I designed it. I made the redesign of the only benchies, and Nero asked if I could do something with the crimping ain't easy phrase that someone said on chat that day. Nice. Yeah, I like it. Good job. Okay, so that is greased. I want to put a teeny tiny bit of grease on the teeth here, not on the filament path, but just a teeny tiny bit, and I'm gonna wipe it around on the Bondtech gears here. Just the tiniest little bit. That'll be enough. I wear mine on wiring days. Well, we won't need to do any crimping for this build at least. Okay, the shuttle, the guidler, and then another in 3x30, right? There we go. And we get the fancy tensioning screw. It's got an extra spring in there. I don't think it's different, it's just extra. And I think that's a 20 and 3x20. Yep. For the latch. There we go. Tensioner screw. What's your thoughts on using a single MGN9 instead of MGN12? The general recommendation is to use either dual MGN9 or a single MGN12. I've personally run single MGN9 with success, but your level of success is going to be determined by the quality of parts you use and the care you take in assembling them. So good rail, you should be able to get away with it. But you're safest doing either dual MGN9 or an MGN12. Okay, so that's Clockwork 1 together. We're almost ready to put this on. Check gear play. The gear should have a slight play and should be fully tight against the pinion. Adjust the position of the motor until you have a faint play. So we're okay. Just ordered parts for V0 to 0.1 and accidentally had switch wire frame and rails in my cart. Oh no. That's a pretty big accident. Did all of this, did all of this. Oh, that's what we didn't do. We didn't remove the, so for another nice change away from this with Clockwork 2s, for Clockwork 1, we need to remove these two screws from the stepper, and they're Phillips head. And I usually just put a lot of pressure and just a easy turn just to make sure I don't accidentally strip those. We're gonna pull both of those out. So how many more printers am I building? While I'm building this, I'm building, this 2.4 behind me. I'm building another 2.4 in the next batch of them that come out. I'm gonna build a solid fork. At some point I'm gonna do the ender, the switch wire conversion. So it hasn't ended yet. M3x20s. So the cable chain holder should snap into, push into there. And this tightens down reasonably firm. Not enough to squish the plastic though. Oh, Tridex. Well, that's not a new printer build. I guess the switch wire to, or the ender to switch wire conversion isn't either. But yes, the Tridex is another one. If I put ender to switch wire in there, I better put Tridex in there. But that doesn't change my total number of printers at least. I always ask for any change, branding or something on the design, but Nero said it was okay like it was. Not everyone likes branded things, but maybe just a Nero 3D somewhere. I get that. Okay. Now that's done. Hey. We're not gonna put that cover on. We've got a different one. So I think we can put this on the printer now. So let's clean up a little bit. Organize my mess a little bit. Run movements around in the house now. Put these over here. Slowly collecting empty little Ziploc bags, so that's good. Tools over here. And gummies are real close to where my hand was. Okay. So I said I would show somebody the belts here. Maybe I'll bring out this camera. So on the Trident carriage here, all the belt slack really needs to be is on one side. I know the lighting isn't great for that. I don't know why it's not. All my lights are on. You just need, if you have slack on both sides, you can pull it all back into this mount, this side of the mount, and bolt that down, and then take all the slack on this side. So, and you don't need this much. I'm gonna cut these off to about here. I don't remember who was asking that question, but. You had to skip out so you could do some actual work there, Agent Monroe? Okay, I'm happy with the way my belts are going, so I'm gonna cut these to their final length. I cut them to where there's enough for me to grab on, but when I tuck them out of the way, they don't stick out too much. So I'm gonna cut this to about, I'm just guessing, about here. And then I'm gonna cut the other one to the exact same, to the exact same length. And then these can tuck back in around the probe wire. There we go. I think those are sticking out a little much, so I'm going to cut a couple more teeth off, a couple more teeth worth. There we go. I'm looking for it to be mostly flush with the front, so when I put the tool head on here, it's easy to do without getting the belts in the way. The toolhead can go on there right now. I'm supposed to be writing my performance review right now. Well, that's an easy thing to put off and procrastinate on. I do that all the time. As long as nobody at work is watching and heard that, then we're fine. We can, since this is afterburner, we can actually bolt this tool head in place and hold it there. So let me grab the M3x40s. So when Steve builds merch, I have no idea. I kind of figured I'd wait until YouTube says, hey, here's a merch store, and just figure that's the good time to even start thinking about it. Honestly, I didn't know we would be at this point with memberships and weekly streams. So I'm just having fun as it is. If someone had some great ideas, I'd be open for them though. I think Charlie is the best subject for any of that though. Okay, that's in place, that's in place. Can we bolt this guy on here? That goes in there. And since we don't have the cable chains in the way, this part will be easy. Will we watch Steve builds merch? I have no idea. What would I build that's merch? You don't build merch. You just sell merch, right? I don't know what level of convenience or appreciation of change this is, but this is near the top of the list of things I'm glad changed on Clockwork 2. These screws moving from the back to from the front, it's huge. Huge quality of life change. I think it should be Charlie trying to knock a screw off of a table. I feel like that screw might have a little bit of a malformed head. It feels a little odd. I'll grab a different one. Yeah, this one feels better. Uh-oh. I made it. I made the big time. Yeah, Charlie would have to be in a Trident, right? I can't catch him. Report. Report. Did I get rid of him? Report. Report. Oh, one more. Report. Woohoo! Okay. Clockwork is on there. Yep, I made the big time. I drew out the bots. Let's see. Oh, let's do the fan setup. So we have this piece, and that piece, and that piece. And then I gotta find the fan. I have a feeling I have a sneaky feeling that it didn't include it. I have a feeling that I didn't get the 2040 fan. And really, that's not a big deal because really, by the time this reaches market, I would be very surprised if we're still on Afterburner. But I don't want to assemble a Clockwork 2 on stream until it's final. So I don't want to assemble a Clockwork 2 on stream until it's final. I did the preview, which was useful and it was huge for my channel, but I don't want to assemble something that is in active develop or active changes like that, something complicated like that. So similar to the view that Nero has expressed. See ya, John Paul. Thanks for being here. Okay, so it didn't include the 2040 fan, but that's okay. Because this printer I've been assembling, I did go straight to a Clockwork 2 on this, which means I have a 2040 fan from an LDO kit in the other room. I'll be right back. See, I got one. Has there been any rumors about how the Galileo will incorporate the new mount that the Clockwork 2 uses? I have the Galileo, but I'm seriously thinking about moving the Clockwork 2 for that. PCB support, etc. Jared is actively developing an update to Clockwork 2. So, or Galileo, an update to Galileo. So you can be sure that it is going to flow with the new Toolhead design. Okay, so saved by happen to having another LDO kit here, we are going to continue this. And I tend to like to put a little bit of super glue on these fan outputs or fan wire spots because they like to work their way out of this strain relief. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Are we there yet with Clockwork 2? We're more there than we were before, but we're not there yet. Is there a trick to keeping the center rail of the bed level? I find mine kind of just can be nudged over quite easily. The center rail of the bed. Are you talking about this? Are you talking on a Trident? Or? Yeah, Rebel Angel 66, I don't have a date right now. Like I said, it's sooner than it was before, but we're not there yet. If you move your y-axis very slowly, does the tool head wiggle a few millimeter back and forth? My friend is currently building his LDO Voron kit and it wiggles a tiny bit, but only when moving slow. Well, let's find out. Let me get this little drop of glue here. And I don't put this I put this drop of glue out here at the strain relief. And I feel like it helps it stay in there and it's not going to pull out and break the wires as easily. Do that. And then we're going to pop the front of the fan housing off. That comes off. And then this goes in here. Oh. Pulls in there like that. And this can stick out here, or however it ends up going. Front comes on, and then what is it, a 12? 3 by 12s? I think so. Slight movement, and it wiggles, normal move, and it's clean. Let's find out on this one. Just let me get this little bit here done. Nope, they must be 16s. 12s are too short. What brand fans come with the kit? They're all GDS time. GDS time. And these are threading into plastic, and there's only a few threads here. So very gently, and stop as soon as it touches. That's all it takes. Stop. You don't want to strip those out, but hey, look how good that looks. That obsidian black, that deep black. Uh-oh. Let's again. Report. Oh boy, we gotta. Got a whole bunch of them. It's flattering, but I don't want it. And one more. There we go. Reporting doesn't remove it in chat. It removes it from my chat. Are they still there? Oh, it doesn't remove it on the, here, huh? I see it, it's still there. That's just the drawback of having that be a live representation of chat. Oh, it's still in your chats? Oh, okay. I usually just report. I thought it removed it. Hi, Delmar. Hi and bye. I'll have to remember that. That's my YouTube newbiness showing through. You have to block to remove. Okay, I'll remember that for the next one. I need a little filament. A little bit of filament. A little bit of filament for the hinge. Go. And this goes in here like this. And up in here like this, and then around. think I want to pull this out. I'm going to move this in, I think, a little bit. Make a loop in there because I want as little wire sticking out as possible. So I think I'm going to do those like that. And then hold them in place as I put this on here. And what are those, by 30s to hold the thing on? Well, maybe we'll get an opportunity to learn and practice what we've learned when the stupid bots come back. Would it have removed them in the on-screen chat? I don't think so. I think that's there no matter what, right? What do you think? Looking pretty good? Uh-oh. Ah. And 3x12s. And the tool head is done. It should remove it from on screen, so I screwed that up. Okay, well, I'll try it again. I'll try it when they come back. Why is I'm not missing a light, but I feel, oh, I am missing a light. Is that better? A little bit? Okay. Afterburner installed. Afterburner installed. This stuff done. Yeah, I forgot my overhead light. Oops. Did all that, did all that. Now we're on to cable chains and that kind of stuff. Why are we doing that right now? I guess we can... Oh yeah, we do that from the bottom. The lighting got better. Oops. Oh well. Okay, let's put all these at least into place. So we have a lot of the rear chain mount and stuff. So there is, for the LDO kit, there is a unique rear chain mount. And I actually modeled this. They needed to shift the opening in the panel over to clear the way they have the electronics laid out, and you'll see why in a bit. So I moved the zip tie mounting on the bottom here and just shifted things over. So I do need to put a couple of heat sets in there because I forgot to. So let's do that. Oh, there is a unique right side mount because they make the opening large enough for the 14-pin connector to go through. So they just made the cover wider to cover it. I did not model that. And then the left side mount is normal, the regular Trident one. Okay, heat sets. 2 heat sets, and then I think we're off to the next stop, next part. There we go. And let's readjust the camera. Oop. It's probably good. I saw a trick of inserting filament into the PTFE tube before cutting. I wanted to try it. Filament, what does that do? What does that do for you? There we go. Hammerheads. Are you going to design something similar for 2.4? I've noticed on the Super Green 350 that you're missing a belt cover due to the webcam cable. So yes, but it's not because I'm missing it. It's because I installed it in the opposite corner. So I am installing a camera here. The camera is installed. The belt cover with a notch, I accidentally put in the back corner. I need to move it up here, but I'm not doing any work on this without it being on camera as I'm recording the build. So I haven't been able to fix that until I put it back on the bench and and work on it that way. So there's just a simple notch in there, and then a couple of pieces that kind of extend down to help make sure that it's not going to interfere with the belts. Hi, Yeri. Okay, so that's going to go there. That's going to go there. Grab our 3x8s and get all these set up. Stops the PTFE from squashing. Just, I can see that, but I don't know how much real effect that'll have because the filament is a smaller diameter than the PTFE itself. The sharp blade is going to have more of an effect on it, I think, than unless you're using something like this to cut it. That I can see it being useful, but I think in something like my jig, a sharp blade is more useful. So this isn't going to be in its exact spot. I think we're just placing these. Oh, wrong camera. Who knows where I can get our pie? Pielocator.com, is that it? Did I get that right? Pielocator.com, here is the best chance of finding one. Now, if you're going to somewhere like Adafruit, which is a good a place that gets pies occasionally, or that they come in, make sure that your account's all set up and all your two-factor authentication is all ready to go, because you have about 3 or 4 minutes once they come in stock to check out before they're gone. But of the places I've heard Adafruit, I've heard of people being successful there, just paying attention to Pie Locator, our Pie Locator. Hey, Kai. Kai, good evening. Okay, those are on. So those are changes in the kit. A little wider here to cover a wider hole because they need the 14-pin wiring harness connector to be able to get through. This, they had to relocate the entry because the brackets because they they mount the electronics this way instead of this way. So that's redesigned. And then this one didn't change. If only we could use non-Raspberry Pi SBCs in our Vorons. Do you have any clue how we could use non-Raspberry Pi SBCs in our Vorons, Clee? Any clue at all? I think people wrote using bots to buy the Pis. Yeah, that's so frustrating. And good news, Australian suppliers are getting a steady trickle of Pi now, and it follows a trend with video cards. You guys should see improvements in availability in 6 weeks or so. I hope so. Okay, so we get to put the panel on. You guys get to see me peel this paper off of the acrylic panels. It's the most thrilling thing I do on the channel. What way do I want to lean this thing? I guess I'll put it on its back. Oh, I almost forgot. I don't know if you're still here, but we were going to, here, let's see if we can get a pretty straight shot on here. There, okay. And then that's right around the middle. And we're gonna slowly move forward. And slowly, I'm not touching the belts or anything, slowly moving back. I don't think the tool head's moving at all. Slowly move forward. I don't remember who asked for this, but I wanted to do it before I put it on its back. I don't think it's moving. He needs less than a smidge. Okay. Back to it. Let me try. We're going to be doing lots of electronics. I think we're going to be okay right there. We'll find out. Okay, where are the panels? Which ones are these panels? I've got panels for a 350. Where are the panels for the... I think they're in the other room. I'll be right back. There's a smidge move, but it's only once. Usually the belt's bedding in. Yeah, it's fine. That surprised me a bit, although they are a bit long in the tooth. What are a bit long in the tooth? So I got a box here. It does have my address on it, so I need to make sure I point it in the right direction. Yep, we're good. I forgot to open this. Okay, it's a box in a box. And before you ask, panels are in the box. Okay. I think we're gonna have to rearrange again. And panels. Big box for the tall panels, because remember, this is a 300 cubed, so the panels are bigger. About 2 inches bigger, 50 millimeters. Okay, we really only need 1 panel right now. Oh, all of them are, they're all tied together. Go. I'm gonna shock the snot out of myself with the static from this on something. V0 grabbed it, yep. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'll clean all that up later. Luckily, the 1 panel we need right now is right there. Okay, set those right there. Okay. What's this? Go Steve, give us the best peel tonight. The best peel? Oh, okay. Are we getting a good look at this? It's not. Let's see. Oh yeah, this one might be good. Here we go. Oh, we're losing it. This was the problem with this paper stuff, is you lose it. Grab it over here. Got a good peel going. It's not too frustrating yet. So much better. God damn it. It is the bottom panel. I grabbed the wrong one. Okay, I'll leave the other side on. You guys got a bonus peel. This is the one we want. Thanks, Troy. That was a good one, though. Okay, let's see if we can get... You got a bonus peel there. I gotta get past these corners, because it's not gonna peel. Say pull 90 degrees. I saw the comment. Let's get it going. This one's not as happy. This is older. Is this older? There we go. I did a premature peeling on the other one, but look at that. Once that went, okay. I don't want to scratch the snot out of this, so Let me make sure I don't have anything on my bench. Now we get to do it again. Okay, that one. That one. Ready? Oh. Oh, okay. The dramatic pause, right? Dirt Robot, are you a little bit behind? I think you're not live. There we go. Okay, so let's set this over here. And even your late question there, Dirt Robot. I can't do a hot tightening yet because it's not hooked up. I'll have to reach in there and do a hot tightening after it's all built. But I don't know. It's proper to do it, so I'll do it. But I haven't always had a problem with not doing it. Depends on the hot end too. That's the really nice thing about the Revo. No more hot tightening. You might be right, much of the lighting performance is achieved by using RTU processors in the chip. Okay. I'm glad I don't have a peeling fetish. That was a good peel. You could work on a potato factory and be a professional peeler. Wrong kind of peel. What happened? I lost video. My, oh no, I didn't. Why didn't it move? Oh. Wrong camera. Wrong camera. The angle in the frame, I mean, I was trying to move up and then I realized, oh, it is what? Okay. Brain circuits got crossed. The neural pathways, they cross the streams. Let's go back here. I was a little worried because, I mean, knock on whatever wood is here, I haven't had camera problems in months, right? Ever since someone tipped me off to keep the screen open on the 6400 here, it hasn't locked up. Even on the 5-hour stream we did the other day. So. Just a little example of things that go on in my mind when I'm working on this stuff. And I didn't realize it at the time, but when I grabbed this bottom panel, I thought in my mind, oh, this is 3 millimeters thick. I thought the deck panels were 4 millimeters. I thought LDO was doing 4 millimeter panels, but I didn't verbalize it because I wasn't sure what was going on. And then you told me, that's the bottom panel. This is a 4 millimeter thick deck panel. Okay, so, well, there's a little bit of a problem. You gotta kind of wiggle it around past the connector here. It's a little bit of a pain. Okay, that's in there. And then we're gonna place, yeah, we can place these in here. That'll be good. Yeah, if these can go the other way, I think it would clear better. This is it's coming in this way at an angle. This, it's coming in straight. So that's a note for sure. Yeah, I think it'll be fine. So I think let's do that. Since we're testing this, let me turn these steppers and see if that helps, because I'm not sure it will now that I see that I can't get this bottom one off that way either. What is a better way to do this? Because this one hits too, so I assume if I do the same thing, those two pointing down are gonna hit as well. I don't know if I should. I don't think it's going to help, because those are going to hit as well. Similar to this one, the bottom one here is hitting when I try to do that, right? Oh, don't you have the back cut out, the little one on the wrong side? No? This is where the cable chain is. This is the back of the printer. Cable chain's on that side, on the left side. Yeah, I think I'm okay with the orientation of the panel. The problem is I got it in here by tweaking things and stuff, but I feel like there could be a better way to do this. One way is that this cutout down here could be a little bigger. And then you can just go in this way and in. But since this one hits, I don't think it's worth the effort to rotate these, because that means those are just gonna hit. So I'm gonna note that, but I don't think it's worth us testing this because that hits. Okay. A bunch of these little clips to hold the thing in. Grab some of those. That's probably enough for now. Now the DIN rails are gonna go this way on the LDO kit. On the spec setup, they go this way. So we're gonna put these twist in. These twist this way. I'm gonna put the twist in ones on the sides. I'm just gonna put 3 of them in for now. They go in and then rotate clockwise to snap into place. And since it's a 4mm deck panel, you use the ones of these that are marked 4mm. Still using a regular Pi 4 for my home assistant. We could see where some non-SD card storage could be nice. I haven't messed with, the only things I've done with Pi 4s is basically 3D printer stuff. Okay, so all those are on. That'll hold the deck panel in pretty well. Then we're gonna put in the T-nuts for the rails. So let's take a detour here. Let's take a little detour over to the LDO docs site. So we're at docs.ldomotors.com. I'm gonna refresh because I hear it's been updated. So if we go to the LDO docs site, now this isn't publicly available to my knowledge right now. This is, I have a login to be able to see this information because it's still work in progress. But so keynote here is this is all work in progress. We're gonna look to see where we're at. So LDO Voron Trident wiring guide revision A. It looks like it might be accessible right now because it doesn't give me that warning that it's a private site or whatever. So you could try to go here and it might come up for you. Tools to prepare pre-wired items, above deck wiring, so the Z-endstop, wiring the XY-endstop, routing the LED strips. The below deck wiring is what we're looking at here. And I just want to get a look at how they are laying things out. So making sure we set the controller or the power supply to the right voltage for your region. Preparing the jumpers on the octopus, and here installing the DIN rails. So this is the key piece here. Is looks like you can access. That's new as of I think yesterday then, Mitchell. So try refreshing and seeing if you can get in. Yeah. So that's new. It's public as of yesterday. When we looked at this on Sunday or Monday, it still was restricted. So. But if you notice here, it has a touchscreen, and that's what we'll be going straight to a touchscreen on this because that's what it included. Okay, so check your layout with the following photo. Place the left rail as close to the Z-chain opening as possible without covering the opening. Place the right rail adjacent to the rear motor mount. So those are our locating points. So that's enough for us to move on to the next step here. Oh, certain pages still require authorization, but you can get to this one. That's cool. That's good. So we got more pieces, bits and pieces to grab. DIN frame mount. 2. 3 and 4, and then the DIN rails. Cool. M5 T-nuts. The root page of the Trident folder needs authorization, but you can load the parts and wiring pages from the sidebar. Good. Finger pressure on these, that's nice. That one went in with finger pressure, but I think there's a flange on it. Because, yeah, see, I just had to touch it to get it to go in. These nuts are so inconsistent. That one went in fine. That one went in fine. That one went in fine. What do we got? Sean Connolly. Did I miss a question here? Because I saw that mentioned. So I've been trying to print my 2.4 points for the last 2 weeks and just can't get this ABS to print. I'm jealous of how great your parts look. Want to print my 2.4 parts for me. So the PIF queue is pretty short right now. You probably don't have much of a wait for PIF. And those guys print... I feel like my print quality is good, but it's not consistent. I couldn't say that, hey, I'm gonna print a set for you and know that it's gonna come out great. But the PIF guys, you're in good hands. The root page, I get that. I rarely use micro SD. PIF quality is great, but they are humans. Absolutely. That is absolutely true. They are humans working with a technology that is not injection molding. Hey, Bear Cool. That nut feels weird. That nut itself feels weird. I'm going to try a different one. Hi, Joker Nut. Yeah, that was the nut. Okay. Now, these DIN rail mounts are mostly universal. I haven't found any that it won't work with, but there's also kind of locator tabs. So you want this side with the tabs to go into the extrusion. So I'm gonna put that there. I'm just kind of laying these in place to get this kind of sorted. So there we go. These go on the ends. It should go in there. What I should do before I do that is line these nuts up. So that's gonna go about there and there. And then these are gonna go about there and there. I have heard today Prusa bought Prusa Solid. Yes, they bought them yesterday. David Norton, good morning from Australia. Good morning. I almost forgot something. So we got a couple of pieces here. I printed a few of them. They're just a little spacer. All they are is a spacer here that helps keep the panel from sagging onto these DIN rails, because they can't mount, like on a 2.4, the DIN rails actually clamp the bottom panel to the bed frame. On a Trident, it's not. So to keep this from sagging or giving you an opportunity to put some foam on the top for vibration damping, those go on the rail like that. And I got to find some foam because I want to put some foam on these. So these just clip on the rail here, and then I'm going to put just a tiny piece of foam on each of these, the 1mm foam, to keep things from rattling. So let's do that on these as well. Oh, hey, I get to try this. So I want a block instead of... Well, I get put user in timeout, remove, report, and hide user on this channel. I guess I'll just hide the user. Oh, there we go. Now it's automatically going away. Good night, Carlos. Carls from Barcelona. Thanks for being here. Okay, cool. That went away. Let me find some foam. There is foam tape in one of these boxes. Nope, it's not in a box. It's off to the side. I'm gonna grab this foam tape. I'm gonna grab the 1mm stuff. I'm just gonna grab, you don't need much here. Just like 2 centimeters each. All it is to give it something to rest on. So just, I don't want to use much because I'm going to use it for the panels. But. And then we're going to grab maybe just slightly longer pieces. We're going to put them on the, no, we're not. We're going to leave those off because those actually bolt in there. Nope. Scratch that, reverse it. So these little pieces of foam tape on top of the, on top of these pieces, just like that. That'll hopefully minimize any chance of getting vibrations from the deck. There we go. Went away. And one more. Now, if we were using a 3mm panel here, and that's where I kind of got confused a little bit, confused myself. If we were using a 3mm panel, I would put a small strip of foam on the top of these too. But since this is sized for the 4mm panel, or for 4mm of space there, gotta let Charlie out. I'm gonna not put it there because it's gonna hold, it should hold pretty tight to there anyway. Okay. M5 by 16s. Where did all of those go? There they are. I'm not going to tighten these down yet, just thread them into the nuts. Hey, Jose. And then this. Ugh. I'm going to run the screwdriver up in. I'm going to run the screwdriver up and then drop it. And then try again, just trying to make sure these P-nuts are somewhat lined up. And then there, not tight. There we go. Now I'm going to kind of make sure this is around the center, and then this is all lined up with the edge of that hole like they said. And then I'm just going to make sure it is square, just like that. Then we can tighten these. Hey, G Funny Money. Okay. There are additional holes here 4 M3 by 8s that are only here to thread in and keep that rail. It just threads into plastic, and then you just thread it in until it stops, and it just keeps the rail from vibrating back and forth and vibrating on the frame. And it doesn't get tightened, it just threads in until it touches the rail. Okay, so this one is gonna go until it touches the Z mount according to LDO's docs. It's gonna go right like that. And then on the top, somewhere around there, right there. Hey, Ken. Chat's got a little quiet, just trying to help keep the interaction score up. There you go. Keep it going. There we go. Sorry I'm late. This thing called work. Well, yeah, I get it. This isn't an ideal time for any, mostly because it's the weekday. So it's work day for those in the US, and it's somewhat late in the evening for some parts of Europe. Ready to print some PIF sets once the files are officially released. Have you had a chance to check them out? The files off the PR, at least? Hey, Maker Viking. I didn't see you slip in here. It's midnight EU. We're probably winding down here before too long. I don't want to go super long on these weeknight streams anyway. Just making sure this is square. I am doing well, Maker Viking. I'm having fun making progress on this build. And having fun taking the day off of work. I had a good excuse to not be there this morning, so I figured it was a good excuse to not be there the whole day. I've reprinted the parts you suggested from the PR. Oh, good. Have you tried installing any of them? How'd they go? How was Joel's live stream? I need to watch that after. I wasn't anywhere I could watch it earlier. Yeah, the official stance absolutely is hold off until actual release. The only thing the release is waiting on, unless someone finds something. Sometimes people find things last minute. The only thing that it's waiting on is the right people to hit the right buttons. So. So I did something here. And this is just me. Does it matter? I put these in. I should have put this one in flipped 180 degrees because these started out with the with the slots in them all even between the two cuts, and I was gonna put them in the right way. I don't think it matters. There's nothing that's gonna go in here. On a 2.4, it might matter because the holes might line up better one way or another. But I think on this, I'll just leave it. Yeah, I'll have to catch up on Joel's stream then. Hey, Steve Bell says, I was not able to catch your last streams. How's the kit so far? It's good. I haven't had any major issues. We're just collecting feedback and working our way through the build. It is a tall, or I guess someone said it's a tall bro. So. Joel's stream was really good. Even saw Nero wave to us in the background. He said he was going to try to do that. Yeah, I'm not gonna actually take the time to reverse this. If I was doing it and noticed it from the start, I would have flipped it over. But in this case, there's nothing that needs to line up there. Those holes don't need to line up. But it's something I think about. Hoping to get a chance to work on the Trident tonight and install the new parts. Nice. Let me know how it goes. That was an OCD moment. Absolutely, very cool. It is going to bother me just a little bit, but. The printer is going to Murph anyways. All the effort to have the gates on the belts up the right way, and now you ruin the entire printer. You know, the thing that saves this, the thing that saves it, that makes this fine, makes this easy, Mr. Clown, had to say it. Thing that's easy is the T-nuts are all lined up. T-nuts are all lined up. No, I saw it. Doom. Whoop. And the one that dropped. Do you know what the next level of OCD would be? And I used to do this, and I've kind of forced myself not to, is making sure once I put the screws in there, that's their home forever. If I take these out, they can't go anywhere else. They have to go back in there. But I don't do that anymore. There, much better. That's the extra 0.01%, right? Yep. Okay. Okay, we did this. We put it where they say we should put it. And then we're gonna place things. We can generally place things. Okay. Well, we can probably get through this and then probably call it good. We will generally place all the electronics and then call the stream. So let's put that down and go back here. No, everyone go check and change your rails on your Tridents. We have a power supply and we have a octopus and we have the power distribution thingies. have an SSR and a Raspberry Pi. I think that'll do. That'll do. Now it doesn't match the LDO picture. Is the LDO picture backwards? It's hard to tell. Now let's see if we can get more of this on screen here. Is that better? A little bit. There's a mod for a certain Logan that has the electronics inverted and it's not necessary to turn the 3D printer. What do you think about that? I think it's interesting. And we talked about doing that during Trident development, but I decided that I wanted to keep it more like 2.4 than to go down that route. Call the string, ring, ring, hello, can you guys hold it down over there? I don't get it. Pi is the most item on my workspace. Most valuable item on the workspace? Probably. Trident Kid is getting an octopus, yes. 3 different STM32 chips on the octopus now. Let's see what we got here. And let me catch up on the rest of this chat. Once you get it together, you really shouldn't need to turn it over, if ever. That's true. And that's really the key. Let's find out what I have. I'll read it here in a second. Does it say on the box anywhere? This was made in, well, this was made January 25th, 2022. It's an Octopus 1.1. There's no other indicator on the box. Everyone here looking at that pie and drooling. Okay, we have a 446. So it's the same one I've used on any other octopus that I've put together. At least I'm a better engineer than a comedian. I just didn't get it, but that's through no fault of yours. Yeah, it's a 446. Okay, let's go power supply. Put this stuff back in here. Grab all the mounts. It is getting hot. Even with my fan blowing over here, it is warm. Oh, I wanted this. I didn't do that. Let's get all the things they're gonna mount down here though. Is that it? I think that's it. Would you say upgrading to a UHP power supply will be a quality of life or an actual improvement? It would just be size, quality of life. Practically. I've had an open order with CanaKit since the middle of January for a Pi. Ouch. What do you say? Up there, nice. Oh, yeah, that's true. But that's quality of life. Fan, well, let's back up. There's no fan, but there's no fan on these either. I was thinking the the 350 version. That one is a quality of life improvement in not having a fan. But these don't have fans anyway. I still have a brand new Pi 4 4GB in a box I haven't used. So now your inbox is going to be exploded. LRS power supply are not a lot. Yes. So good point, DJ Natty. These kits come with a what is the other one? Not LRS, but not UHP. There is a different power supply that comes with the kits that ship to Europe. Hi, Mark Stokes. RSP. RSP is the one. The RSP looks nearly identical to this power supply, except it does not have a voltage select switch. It's auto voltage sensing. Otherwise, the form factor, the mounts are the same. I'm going to switch this to 115 while I'm looking at it. So the LDO kits that ship to Europe have the RSP version of this power supply. Okay, let's get this thing together. Where did those screws go? Private first class. Power factor correction. That's what I thought it said, but I didn't want to say it out loud because I wasn't sure. I was waiting for someone else to say it. Okay. Those two are done. Now we need to open up the pie. So how much value is lost when I open this box? Probably 0, because they're still in that much demand. Now I think there's a heat sink in here somewhere for that. I could be wrong. I'm gonna put a heatsink on it. I think there was one in the other kit that I built recently. Am I gonna put a heatsink on it? No, I actually ran out. I ran out, so I'll put one on later, or I'll find the one that should be in here somewhere. Bunch of M2 self-tappers. There is a part that LDO supplies. It's just a 2-DIN version of the Pi mount, just extra support. If you have a 350, you can put a fan blowing inside the power supply, a silent one, and the internal fan will only kick in. Right, because it's load dependent, right? Hey, Mark Andreka. I think everyone you messing with power supplies should know this, because if your house burns and you have an LRS power supply, the machine that caused it, insurance won't pay. That's a good point. this one, something about that thread didn't stick. I threaded that in, it just stripped. I'm gonna try putting a little bit of super glue in here. Put a little bit of super glue in there to try to take up some space in that hole. Wrong screw. What? What wrong screw? It's the little M2s for holding the clips on here. Should be the right screw. But I don't want to reprint that if I don't have to, so see if I can get enough bite. Yep. Oh no, it was the right screw. It just something malformed in the clip there. The rest of these are tightening down okay. That one just immediately stripped out, so I'm probably on the edge of some extrusion factor. But it's fine now. Whew. Oh yeah, Steve Builds. I did the first shakedown run on the OpenRC F1 cars. Cars, plural, nice. The boy and I had fun until the PLA pinion fried and melted off the motor shaft. Oops. Okay, getting all these done all at once. Then we'll get them all on the pieces. Both cars did it nearly simultaneously. Gonna print an ABS. Curious how that goes. I think mine are printed in PLA, but I never really ran mine. It's sitting up here on the shelf. Okay, one more. I think, just thinking about it in terms of the build, we've got probably a whole stream worth of just wiring and setting up the wiring and checking connections and stuff like that. And then another stream of getting it running, powering it on, getting the firmware installed and stuff, putting all the panels on and things. So I think we're doing good for having this done well before Murph. I want to have it done well before Murph. I want to get some print time on it. Wouldn't PA12 be better for opinion? I'm not sure either. I think we could be printing on Sunday. Maybe, depends on how long the stream is. So remember, be sure to be here on Sunday, because the next giveaway will be this Sunday. It's going to be the linear rail set. So a Trident full linear rail set. Is the RPi mount somewhere available? Yes, if you go to this doc site, there's a printed parts guide, and all the parts are linked in here, all the unique parts. So Bear Cool and anyone else, 3D sets is the site for that. I'm printing one of these, and it's going to be a project on here. It's just going to happen at some point. These are paid models. But back to the printed parts guide, back to putting this on. Okay, installing the pie. So rails this Sunday, frame next Sunday. And then on the last, what I figure is the last stream of the build series, we'll do or somewhere around there, we'll do the V0. Okay, that's on. We need the breakout board. Can I use 24 gauge wire for a 50 watt heater cartridge extension? I would not. I know. Even at 24 volts, you're putting over 2 amps through it. I'd be more comfortable with 22 or 20 gauge. Got a Pi 02W arrive, turns on SD card slot is dead. Ouch, that sucks. As the LDO said, what the cost of the Trident kit is. They have not pinpointed a price. They said somewhere, I mean, it should be lower than a 2.4, but it won't be that much lower. But they have not given an official. That's what Jason has hinted at. So I'm just repeating what Jason has hinted at. Hey, Troy. Yep, still going for just a little bit more. We're going to get the electronics mounted to their various pieces and then just clip them on the rails and wind down. You're going to have to start building and streaming from work to catch up on projects, I'm sure. There is so much I need to catch up on as far as projects. Go back to this. I want to get an idea of how they orient these parts on this breakout board in particular. So looking at this, the 40 pin connector is going out this way. This little nub is on the opposite side. So it goes on here like this. And this is the little breakout board that LDO made for these. So the main wiring harness is a 40 pin connector on both sides, and then little pigtails go from here to the control board. Yeah, I've been thinking about what I'm gonna do about all these projects, and it's just gonna have to take some time. I don't have quite the bandwidth to be able to prepare for some of these projects that are coming out without letting some of these other projects take time. I need to take, I need to do them little by little, collecting parts and printing parts in between. So it's okay that it's gonna take time. It's just, there's so much to do and I wanna do. Okay. Stream 24/7. If we're gonna just be watching printers print, maybe. That's a lot of the prep time. Oh, these are all the flatheads. I don't want the flatheads. Not yet. I need the button heads. There they are. So after the Trident is switch wire, ERCF finishing. Yes. And then Ender 3 to switch wire, maybe, because I think the Ender 3 to switch wire is only gonna be a couple of streams. That's probably a good idea, because I really do want to do that project. Viking Cat, you got KB3D reamers? Awesome. How are they? Like I said, before I knew KB3D existed, before I knew Voron existed, I think, I bought mine off Amazon. I might have known about Voron. I'm curious, how many sales did KB3D get of reamers after that stream? You could make a second channel named Steve Prints and stream every time you print a longer print. Oh, that sounds like work. Oh, I am out of M2 self-tappers. Now this kit does come with a bag of spare hardware. I know there are some M2 self-tappers in there if I end up needing them. Agent Moreau, you bought some. Awesome. Put the SD card in there so I don't lose it. Had stuff you wanted to order from KB3D anyway. Okay, let's just do this. There are a bunch of jumpers to change on here. LDO has a diagram up here, and they've put neon green jumpers in here just to highlight them. So you want to leave the jumpers in the neon green spots, but they're going to be a black jumper. So did they really get hugged out of stock? That's awesome. That makes me laugh. I mean, in a good way. I'm glad to, I hope they think that's good. I assume they think that's good. Okay, so I'm just using some tweezers to pull all the extra jumpers out because I don't need them. Try not to lose them across the room. Do you want to? Here, I'm gonna show you something here in a second. You know, a level of OCD that has occurred to me, and I only say it because it's occurred to me before this. Let me put my other glasses on so I can see if you can see what I see. If you look at these jumpers, the jumper, the metal, the conductor inside is bent a certain way. So that one is a U, this one's opposite, right? Well, I feel like I need to flip this one around to match that one. Does that reach an appropriate level of OCD? And I'm not just bringing that up because we were talking about OCD. That's something that's actually occurred to me. It's terrible. Oh, what are we at? We got all these correct. We have to move this last one over. You guys can't actually see what I'm doing. Now this is one I probably would just leave, but since I brought it up, I'm doing it. Make it a serial requirement. I need a close-up of jumpers on your controller board, please. I have that with screws when opening a laptop or a GPU, put the screw back, each one exactly where it was. Absolutely. So on printers and stuff like that that I've built, I've kind of taught myself to go away from that. I can have a pile of screws from something I built that I pull apart. But if I'm working on a laptop, every screw has to be arranged on the desk so I can grab it and put it in the same spot it came from. You'll never see them again. I know I won't. I know I won't. I'm gonna have a gummy. I forgot about the gummies. Why are you flipping the jumpers? They work either way. Because I thought about it and it's a little OCD, and honestly, it's funny on stream and Charlie. I just let that image of Charlie balancing on the trident. Charlie. There we go. Anyway, as long as you don't come closer to the motor driver chip when they are slightly bent, all good. There we go. Okay. All the jumpers I've set according to the picture on their site. Let's get all of this out of the way. We'll snap them onto the controller. I think I'm gonna save these for next stream, putting those on. That's a little more involved, and we're at 3.5 hours at this point, so my OCDs often get in the way of me completing projects. I want something to be perfect and won't get past it and end up spending too long and accomplishing nothing. Absolutely, I've been in the exact same spot. It's a real thing for sure. I have many projects that don't get done because it's not going right. So I stop and I set it aside, and then I try to get back to them. There you go. Okay. Well, now you're in the way. Say hi to that printer. Which way do they have this? Let's look at this. Perfect is the enemy of good. Yep. Perfect is the enemy of good enough. Okay, we are going to put the rear stepper down. Yes. Okay. So power supply. Goes right there. The SSR goes right there. About. The octopus. Goes right about there. Pi goes right about there. Maybe a little further up here. And then this guy goes right there. Charlie asked you to get him down over the printer so we don't need to jump over it. He is very much demanding attention. Mr. K, good night for me. Have a nice day for everyone. I'm out for tonight. We're just about done here too, Mr. K. I mean, I just put that down. If you guys want to chat for a few minutes, any questions or anything, we're done. We're done for the day. Done with the build. Someone is in desperate need of attention. I've been home all day and I haven't been sitting at my desk. So next stream will be Sunday, our normal Sunday stream. We'll continue where we left off. We'll be able to do, we should be able to finish wiring. I think. And then we'll get to a print. Well, we'll finish wiring. Then we'll probably do firmware setup. Charlie, you're gonna knock my Thunderbolt cable out. Yeah, we probably won't be printing on Sunday, but we may be printing. If Sunday goes really well, we might not do weekday streams next week. If Sunday goes really well and I map out what I think I can do before Murph, we may not do weekday streams next week. We'll see. This is going really rather quick, I think. Unless I'm missing something. G Funny Money, do you prefer running the Pi from the MCU or separate PSU? I've done both. I've had some problems running from the MCU, but most of those have been corrected by running heavy enough gauge wire. So I'd prefer to run it off the MCU because it reduces complication, reduces devices, reduces wiring in the chamber. But if I need it, if I need to get a stable printer, then I'll run off the run off a separate PSU. Yes, that's not cat food. It's the backers from the foam tape I pulled off earlier. He's very fascinated by it. Time to find a cooler place. Yeah, I don't know what temperature it is right now. It says it's 90 degrees in here right now. 90 Fahrenheit. It's 90 Fahrenheit right now. The question is whether the LDO Trident 250 kit gets here before the self-source parts reach critical mass. I don't know. I don't know when it'll be available. What is your streaming setup hardware? This camera here, the camera pointed at me is a Sony ZV-1, and it's connected via USB to my laptop. I have a Dell laptop with a Thunderbolt dock. This camera here is a Sony A6400, and it's connected with a Camlink 4K. And then I use this little Logitech 922 for a close-up cam. A mini split would be nice. When running from MCU, run 2 wires each for ground and VIN. Yes, I do that, Bill. Two 20 gauge wires for each. Ground and 5 volts. Good night, Bam Pamic. Your cats eat PLA? Oh, Charlie's settling down now. Here, you don't want to look at my back. You can look at Charlie. He doesn't mind the lead screws jamming him in the gut. Next stream, installing AC in the shop. Might. Oh, he has a rubber band? Oh, there it is. See you, Andres. Hey, Andrew. Welcome to the end of the stream. No, I got the rubber band he had. He should be fine. Mini splits are expensive. I haven't even looked. I have someone, I think I might know someone who can give me a discount on one, but I haven't checked. Andrew was going to ask if you already said, my bad, but where can I find the R1 files if available? There, if you go to the Trident GitHub, it's in the pull request. It's the latest pull request. So. I think I could probably, I don't know, is mini split self-installable? I don't know. Yeah. He fits, he sits. People self-install them. Tiger, 3D Royce, good night. See you Sunday. Jose, mini split is an air conditioning system. It's a compact air conditioning system, but it still puts the condenser outside rather than like the portable units that have everything in one unit and are really inefficient and have to have an exhaust. Hair is everywhere. I'll wipe it off, but mini splits are pre-charged as long as your tube length isn't too long. Yeah, I have to figure it out. But I think with that, we're gonna call it. We'll get a good view of Charlie's side as we sign off. See you again on Sunday, regular time. 10 o'clock, probably try to do a relatively long stream on Sunday, but we'll do the same thing. We'll do the giveaway at the 3-hour mark. So we will see you then. Anybody who became a member today, thank you. Everybody that was here, thank you. And thanks to LDO for letting me do this with you guys and gals. So we will see you Sunday. Bye.